a very stripy day today. I'm going to be going to Hyde Park in a minute to show you the frankly insane new monument they put in there. I started off in Trafalgar Square, mostly because I wanted to give you, I wanted to tell you something that maybe you didn't know about Trafalgar Square, which is quite relevant to this video and mildly interesting. I'm going to read from a blog post. The blog is called Ian Visits, and it's called Unbuilt London, a Giant Pyramid on Trafalgar Square. 200 years ago, a plan was announced to plonk a giant pyramid in the centre of London for no purpose other than to cock a snoot at the French. The idea for the pyramid came from Sir Frederick William Trench, an MP and soldier who wanted to commemorate the defeat of the French at the Battle of Trafalgar, which had taken place just 10 years earlier. At the time, Admiral Nelson wasn't yet the folk hero that he is today, so any proposal to commemorate the battle was less about the man than the war. At the time, proposals for a Nelson's column would have been seen as a very odd thing indeed. So in 1815, Trench became what was to become a rather trenchant campaign that basically seemed to annoy everyone for a giant pyramid to celebrate the great battle against the French. However, the monument wasn't to commemorate the Battle of Trafalgar, but the entire war, and specifically the Battle of the Nile, which the MP saw as the real turning point in Napoleon's imperial ambitions. That was the reason for the pyramid. According to a letter from the architects to Lord Anglesey, the pyramid would have been taller than St Paul's Cathedral and had a base of around 360 feet along each side. Each of the 22 steps would have marked 1 year of the wars. Of course, these lions are very Sphinx-like. So the thing they ended up building in the end was still vaguely based upon ancient architecture. And of course, any artist who might be commissioned to create a relevant monument in central London might look at the history and obsessions of Britain and base it on that. Which brings us to the, again, frankly insane thing they have built in Hyde Park. Yeah, there is an insanely massive, crazy pyramid thing in the middle of the lake, and there is only one proper way to have a really good look at it, and have you guessed it already? God, I had to say, it's bloody hard work, and I can't seem to get anywhere near it. There's some kind of vortex pushing me away, but I'll carry on. I'll see if I can do it. The boat keeps turning around by itself, wants to go back, but no. Oh my God, my legs. Like water vortexes around this thing are insane. I think I'm actually trapped. Try and get a little bit further away. Next time, bring a pedaling buddy. So you may see that this thing is not a pyramid, or rather it's a pyramid with the capstone missing. It's actually a recreation of what was the precursor to the building of the pyramids in Egypt. So it was like ancient architecture. And the piece of art is called mastaba, which sounds naughty, doesn't it? But mastaba was essentially an ancient Egyptian tomb. So this is a very, very potent symbol of death. Death to what though? What is this death symbol, and who is it directed towards? Well, I think I'll talk about that when I'm back on dry land. They all look like they're having a great time, but actually they're just trapped in its vortex. I mean, they're going like, help, we're trapped, come and help us. It seriously does have like a magnetic effect for all those boats. They're all trapped. It's so sad. So yeah, let me read you something about the artist and the person who unveiled this monument. The Guardian has gone with alien mothership. Christo's mastaba floats on London's Serpentine, a 600-ton, 20-metre high work made from 7,000 oil barrels is unveiled on the lake in Hyde Park. What intrigues me about this is that the artist said that it doesn't really mean anything in particular and that it's open to interpretation. So I guess that's what I'm going to do, is going to interpret it. So there are like three things associated with this: oil, death, and America. Because this was unveiled by the Mayor of New York, or the ex-Mayor of New York, Michael Bloomberg. So there's definitely an American tinge to it. And if you ask me, there's a subtle reference here to the American flag. Because for most people seeing this, they wouldn't think, oh look, it's a massive symbol of death. It's an ancient archetypal symbol which brings subconsciously into the mind the idea of death. And also subconsciously, if you ask me, the idea of America, because it's got the red and white stripes. And if you put it like that, you can kind of see how it's got the blue and the white of the clouds, and then the red and the white stripes of the American flag. So like subtly, it brings about the idea of America, if you ask me. Because if they just, well, say if the artist Christo and the ex-mayor of New York, Michael Bloomberg, put up a big sign saying, we kind of think America is wrecking the planet with oil and we'd just like America's civilization to die, to, save the planet, there would be uproar. People would complain if there's a big sign that said death to America. But this is a way where people can absorb the idea of America wrecking the planet and dependent on oil, and when oil dies, America dies, and la la la. They can absorb that idea without actually having to think it with their conscious brain. It's just astounding, really, that such a massive bit of art, with such a potent and massive political meaning, could be so subtle that nobody really notices.